हीरोइन का बच्चा बच्चा यहाँ चाहिए
अभी आपको नहीं समझना।
Hello, sir.
One is ready.
Hello, sir.
We start and wait. Hi, sir.
Hello. Hi, sir. Hi, sir. Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sir, can you hear?
I can't help. I don't know. I can't.
Don't come over here.
Hello.
Nidhi Kapila.
ये लेकर
Okay, let's start. Let's get started. I want you to quickly check. I'm going to put you on mute because there's quite a few of you. So if you need to speak up, what you need to do is to use the chat. Okay, so use the chat to type in your messages. Ensure that it's written as everyone, that you're typing the chat message to everyone, not just to me, because while I'm giving the presentation, I might not be in a position to read all of the messages, but I do have other coaches. I'm hoping Vinayak sir and Vinay sir will also join, who might be in a position to respond to your chat messages in case you send it on chat to everyone. Okay, so what's the purpose of this masterclass? So let me quickly cover that in a minute or so and then get started. So masterclass is basically the series of things that we do every year. We've been doing it since 2016 end, I believe. Where in a year we try and do about 40 sessions to generally look at topics related to chess, which we might typically not cover in a class, but also not limited to only those topics, anything to do with chess, something that can help us understand, appreciate, and increase our love and liking for the game. Now, when I saw the list of students who are participating in this masterclass, it was a mixed bag. There were people who are in the advanced batches, and there are others who are just beginning, who might not even have played a tournament. Okay, so there is something in it for everybody. So what I want you to take away from here is to try and learn and try and understand the whole idea of tournament and analysis from your perspective, even if you do not get all of it, because you're a complete beginner, you're just starting off, no worries. This is how you learn. Learning is not always something that you have to get 100% of it into your head. Sometimes what you do not understand is a bigger catalyst for you to learn, because then you go seeking the knowledge required to understand that. Okay, so if you have any questions, as I said, your first step is to type it on the chat. If those questions are also not answered, you can always send me an email and we'll figure it out later. Okay, so this is the first masterclass for this year, And I'm hoping that we can do many more of this, but the only difference this year is we are not going to have it on a regular time slot. It's going to be ad hoc the way we did it today. Like, I just announced it yesterday morning and gave you about 24 to 36 hours to actually join the masterclass, which is what we would be doing going forward. So yes, there might be sometimes that you might be missing out, but no worries. We're going to upload all of this content into a YouTube channel and share the link with you. So in case you do miss out in the future, you can go and check out the masterclass series. All right, now what's the reason for looking at this specific topic of tournament analysis? Okay, the biggest reason for that is we actually conducted a tournament. I'm not sure if you had a look at it. Let me see if I can quickly show you a couple of. Yeah, so this was just a small collage of all the students who actually played the tournament. I think I don't have all of the photos. I try to fit in as many as I can. Also the feedback from some of the parents who actually shared how the experience was. This was one which I wanted to show you. So this was really good. We had real fun doing the tournament. And unlike our chess kit tournaments where pretty much everybody used to log in and there was no connection, we actually did a Zoom call, and that helped us kind of connect, be in touch with, and actually get a sense of the entire tournament of who's winning, who's losing, and how it's affecting them and what's happening, which was absolutely thrilling to actually even conduct. I'm sure it was 10 times more to play the game. In addition, let me see if I can show you a few other things. I'm not sure. Okay. How many of you thought that video was nice? Give me a thumbs up. Yeah, very good, fantastic. I had fun making it too, and it was really nice to see all of the smiling faces, and some of the serious ones also. Okay, so that was the tournament that we conducted, and what we did was we had a specific website to conduct the tournament. Okay, and that made a lot of difference in terms of how the tournament was conducted. Okay, that's the platform that we give. So what I realized was most of you logged into that particular portal, looked at the game, played the game during that tournament, logged out, and then shut it down, which is what I don't want you to do. And that's the reason we thought that this might be a very appropriate topic to be looking at today, which is how to analyze the game. Okay, let me see if Vinayak sir and Vinay have joined. Vinayak co-host. Okay, but the purpose of a tournament is not just to play.
Just a minute. Sir?
Yeah.
Sure. Sir, Vinay needs an acceptance from you, like he's waiting in the host.
I disabled it, man. I don't know where he is. I don't think he's in the right one. Can you double check? Okay, so the whole idea of a tournament is not just to play, perform, and finish it off. You got to learn how to analyze your game. And the faster you analyze, the better it is. Okay, and that's the reason for doing this. So let me start off by actually sharing one of the student accounts. In the meantime, let me see. Okay, wait a minute. So you're not able to send the chat to everyone. Let me figure that out. It's okay. You can send the chat for it. Like we'll see that. I don't think there is any security measure that I can fix right now. All right. So I have one of the student accounts. I'm going to show you how to go about doing it. Let me. Okay. So this portal, you have access as long as your membership is there, monthly, quarterly, or annual, right? And this is really, really good because usually what happens when you go to a tournament, you play the tournament and you've written down the game in a couple of sheets and those sheets get lost. Half the time you've scribbled, not even written. Even you can't understand your own writing. Some students, I don't think they can understand the language it is written in also. They have a doubt whether it's English or Devanagari or something like that. Now, that's how bad writing of all these tournament games are. So to go back and analyze those is almost next to impossible. But thanks to a portal like this, it's making a huge difference because you can actually come back and take a look at it. Okay, so let me show you how you are going to access it and what we're doing. When I just put on mute. So when you log into your student portal, this is how it's going to look. And of course, you can go into any of this and test it out and play. There are like a bunch of things that you can do here. Right now, I don't think there are anything going to be assigned in assignments or anything like that. But you can begin with tournaments. Okay. And this is the first tournament that you participated in. And here you will be able to see all the details. Now, if you want to store all the games for future reference, you can download the PGN. Now, what is PGN? PGN is the format in which chess games are stored. It's called portable game notation. Okay. Every chess game can be stored for eternal, for future, for eternity. If you know how to do this, and that's what the software does here. So you can download and you can keep it safe in any of your personal accounts or in the cloud. So the facility to do that is there. But if you do not want to do it, you can directly come and see the games here by clicking on pairings. And you can especially look at your specific games and then see the games that you want to look at. So this is the account of Vishesh. So I'm just going to take Vishesh's game here and specifically look at that. Now, if you see here, you can see the entire game right from the beginning. Okay. Now there's one problem with this though. It's good for viewing, but you cannot analyze it. You cannot see where are the blunders, what is correct, what is wrong, where did it go fine. This is something that you cannot see, right? So you need to find a way to do that. And the way you're going to do that is actually click on download PGN or copy PGN. Once you copy, you need access to a different website called Lichess. Now, if you go to Lichess, there is something called import game. So you can click on import game and you can paste this entire PGN that was played and click on request a computer analysis and then say import game. Okay. Now Stockfish does the rest for you. If you notice this particular area, you'll realize that Stockfish is analyzing something. Okay, it's a server analysis. It's doing the analysis. It divides the game into 3 parts: opening, middle game, and end game. And it does the entire analysis and it gives you the calculation saying, this is what happened. This is how white won the game. Okay, now you can go a little deeper into it and see what happened. So you can see there was 3 mistakes from white, 1 blunder, 1 inaccuracy. From black, it was a little bit more, which was 2 inaccuracies, 4 mistakes, and 3 blunders. it also gives you a particular metric called average centipawn loss. Okay, what does this mean? One pawn is equal to 100 centipawns. Okay, it's a measurement metric, just like 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. The same way, it's 100 centipawns makes one pawn. So you know the value of losing one pawn, right? This is essentially the loss that you have incurred as you played the game. When you started the game, you didn't lose any material. As you played, you lost little by little by little, right? That's kind of checked over a period of the entire game to calculate this. Now, this is your first step, which is a no-brainer. Now, this everybody can do. Wouldn't you agree? Give me a thumbs up if you agree, or just quickly type on the chat saying agree. Okay? Which is, how hard is this? Go to this website, look at your game, and then click on just copy PGN, come here, go to tools, click on import game, and then just paste the entire thing and ask request for a computer analysis. So if you have played 3 games, you just need to do this 3 times. Okay. So now once you're done with it, you can actually see how the score changed. Now see this particular number that comes here, right? This is the number which tells you what is the score of your game. If the number says 0, it's a draw. It's equal. If the number is positive, it means white is doing better. If the number is negative, it means black is doing better. Okay? And you can actually check it out, and you'll see that it will show what are the possible moves, what are the alternatives. So now let's quickly do this analysis, right? Like, see, this is standard opening: E4, E5, NF3, NC6, BC4, NF6, NG5. Until this, it's standard opening. But what was black supposed to play here? He was supposed to play D5, but what did he play? He played bishop C5. Thereby, he gave away the F7 pawn. So this is a mistake. This is a mistake which cost him a lot of points. From 0.2, it became 1.6. So if you are playing this game, and if you are playing white and you're analyzing this game, you can say, wow, this move really helped me. Now you can ask the intention, the idea behind why that player did it. Like, why did he do it, right? The main reason in most of these cases is it's a straightforward attack, but sometimes when you're still in the beginning phases of the game, you might not realize that the knight and bishop are attacking F7 pawn, right? And you don't know how to defend it. So you go ahead and make a standard opening move, which is bishop C5. Okay. And then he did knight takes F7. Okay, which is okay, but it comes with a lot of risk. Because bishop takes F7 can also be done along with a lot of counter attack, which is called the Traxler counter gambit. Okay, but black didn't do it, so he was okay with that. And instead he did queen E7, which was actually a blunder because you have ended up, I mean, he did it fair and square, right? Like, he just wanted to save his queen, so he just moved it, which is totally fine. But a better move was bishop takes F2. Now, if you are playing this game, and if you were playing black, and you are analyzing this game, and you'd say like, my goodness, I mean, the most logical move here is save the queen. Anybody will tell you, knight is attacking queen and rook. I don't want to save the rook. I want to save the queen. But the computer is telling me that there is a different move here. What could that be? And that curious question can help you down a path which will help you learn this whole awesome opening called Traxler counter gambit. It's a very standard game. People play that. They allow this F7 pawn to be killed so that they can do bishop takes F2. So you can actually see what happens. For example, instead of bringing the queen, I could have done this. Bishop takes F2, king F1, then queen E7. He takes it, knight D5, he takes D5, ND4, D6, queen takes. And somehow the balance is back here, right? It's getting back. That's the Traxler counter gambit. And you can play different lines of it, different versions of it. So if you search this, then you know that the next time you're a little bit more prepared for a game like this. So all of your tournament analysis is towards two things. One, what are the insights when it comes to the analysis? Two, what is it that you can do to prepare yourself to prevent your blunders in the future? And I've seen many students who kind of have a very narrow view. They look at only their blunders, which is something that can be totally avoided. Every game has options for multiple blunders. If you look at it, white made 3 mistakes, black made 4 mistakes, which means you can learn from 4 to 7 different mistakes. White made 1 blunder, while black made three blunders. There are 4 blunders you can learn from. So you should not analyze it only from your perspective and say, hey, I made a mistake. You should also think, what was the mistake made by my opponent? Why didn't I equalize it? Why didn't I do something about it? Okay, this is the kind of analysis you want to do. Now, once you've done this analysis, you want to store it. This is a lesson in organization. It is not just to analyze it. You want to organize it and keep it somewhere safe. How can you do that? So you click on these 3 lines here, and then you say study. And when you click on study, you can actually go and create a brand new study. Okay, and this will create a brand new study for you. This is your brand new study. And here you can actually go and rename it. So if you have a Leechess account, you should have this list of studies which have the games of every tournament you have played for future reference. So this was the first ZugZwang online quad tournament. Okay, and then you can write down the name, date, 9th July 2020. Okay, now you can choose these parameters. You want to share it with the whole world, that is okay. Or you want to say invite only, that's up to you. You can choose what you want to do here and then say save. Now that's your study. And if you go to this place, it will show you the chapter.
I don't know that one.
It'll create the chapter. Now, everything that we stored about the analysis is kind of gone. So you can actually go to this and you can click on the analysis now. So the first step is, instead of asking for the analysis straight away, you can actually get it done here and then go ahead and, first save it into a study and then go ahead with the analysis. So that way it will always be stored. It won't go away. Okay. Now let's say Vishesh wants to add a second game. So how does he do it? Go back to the tournament, click on the tournament list, and then go to pairing. And you will be able to see the round pairing for the second round. So go down all the way, figure out which was the thing that you did. This was the game. So let me see it. Let me copy the PGN. Go back here, and I don't have to start from tools this time. I can just click on add a new chapter, click on PGN, and then be able to paste it here. Once I paste it, just say create chapter. Automatically, it would just pick up the whole thing. And now I have 2 games from my tournament. Okay, before I do the third one, I want to open up for a few questions. I have, Okay. Anybody who has a question, please raise your hand. I see Shaurya, so let me start with him. Udayana?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Actually, it isn't letting me go to the website.
Correct. I did see that. There's some problem with the security certificate, but tomorrow it will be fixed. Okay. You'll be able to access it. Right now, I'm kind of stuck. I'm not sure what we can do.
Okay, sir.
Okay, but it should be okay by tomorrow. Don't worry. Nivan? Akash?
So it's the same about our privacy connection. I'm not allowed.
By tomorrow it should be fixed. Okay, in case there's one workaround, you can go directly to chess slang. Okay, chessslang.com and see if you can log in with the same credentials. It should help you work. It should help you log in. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Shaurya?
Sir, I don't know my login in ChessSlang.
Shaurya C, you should. The email was sent to your mom. Ask her to check it. No,
Okay, sir.
your login is already there, but you can't see the games right now because you didn't play the quad. But when you play the tournament next week, you should be able to see it.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Akash,
Yes, sir.
you had a question?
Sir, sir, what is this ZugZwang?
This is the tournament website. So if you're participating in a tournament in ZugZwang, you will be able to use this website to play.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So last Thursday we conducted a tournament, which was the first Thursday night quad. And next Sunday we're going to have a tournament, which is, I think, exactly the same time, 4:15 next week. We will be doing a Swiss-based tournament. So if you're interested in participating, you guys can check out the Google link and just fill in the form. Okay. Yes, Sri Krishna.
So can you show how to log in into that ZugZwang?
Well, you need a login and ID. Like, only those who are playing the tournament will get an ID to play.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Aradhya Ray, is it? Tanu Ray?
Sir,
Yes.
when will the admission become closed?
Mostly by next Friday or like Saturday evening. I think Saturday evening we'll be closing it.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Nivan, any other question? Shaurya?
Sir,
Yeah.
not a question, just something. Okay, you can also send in my email. Okay, navanbisra832020@gmail.com.
I asked you guys to send me an email and then we'll figure it out. Okay, I hope all of you had your questions clarified for now. So let me just, I hope you're able to follow how to get your PGMs. I mean, ZugZwang is just one website for the tournament, right? You might be playing a tournament outside. You might be playing it on Lichess. You might be playing on ChessKit. But the point is you have to find a repository to keep all of them. Now, if you have ZugZwang, then nothing like it, because forever these games are going to be there, right? These tournament games are going to be there. You can always come back and check your values by just going to this and clicking on pairings. And not only your game, you can actually go and check all the other games also, which is my next topic. Now,
sir, sorry to interrupt. I think Arav
Yes.
has a question. He has been putting his hand quite some time in the video.
who?
Arav.
Yes, Arav. Yeah.
Here, just one quick question. How do we create? We can create the Lichess account as well, apart from the ZugZwang ourselves?
Yeah. So Lichess, you can go and create it yourself. So what you need to do is, like, I mean, ideally, I would want you to create a ID which is same as your ChessKit,
Sure.
so that it's easier to kind of track.
Fair enough.
But you can go and create it. Like,
Okay.
It's a simple process.
And ZugZwang is the one which we use for tournaments, right?
ZugZwang is the one that we use for tournament, which the link is usually coaching.zugzwang.in. For some reason, I think the certificate issue, it's not letting us log in right now.
Okay.
So the workaround is to directly go to a ZugZwang website and just log in.
Okay, got it. Fair enough. Thanks.
Okay. All right. So the second part of it is, so far you've been putting in, your games. That's the first step, of course, you want to do, right? Like, you absolutely want to analyze all of your games, but you can go one step further. You can go and analyze the games played by others also, right? For example, one game that everybody was talking about that day, which we absolutely fell in love with, because it was, I mean, you must have been there. It was a complete thriller. It was like the England, I think the England-New Zealand finals that happened, right? It was, at one moment, white was winning, then black was winning, then white was winning again, then black was winning, and then nobody knows who won, right? Finally, like, it was that amazing. So now, if you really wanted to analyze a game like that, then you definitely want to look at it, which was nothing but Udayana versus Hari, I'm thinking, yeah. And as you can see, the game went on forever, 115 moves. This is the longest game I've seen my students play. I'm just kidding. I think people have definitely played more, but this was really, really awesome. So what you can do is copy the same PGN, go back to your study, click on add new chapter, go to PGN, paste it, and then just say create chapter. Okay, now you can see the entire game here. Now, this is also a way in which you can learn. For example, if you are playing a tournament and you have been placed in a quad, which is say quad 5 or quad 6. So section 1 is essentially the quads. So this is the top quad. These are the students who have the highest rating. Okay, the 4 of them who are playing here, these are the ones who have the highest rating. Then it's quad 2, then it's quad 3, quad 4, quad 5, and then finally quad 6 and 7. Now, if you are somebody who's playing in quad 5 and you want to understand, hey, how do I become better? Right? One of the ways you can do that is to actually go and check out a game which was played by somebody else in quad 1 or quad 2 and see what was the difference. Now, let's see the difference. Okay, I'm just going to, without any judgment of the players, it's just a difference between quad 1 and some of the lower quads. Okay, so let's do a quick analysis, see what happens. Okay, now, even though black has a slightly better position, and is indicated by the score minus 1.1, if you see the material, it's roughly equal, right? Which is one of the first hallmarks when it comes to a higher quad. Like the blunders don't happen that often. Okay, even though I think there was a blunder in terms of the positional thing that white was doing. But anyway, let's go a little further and see where it goes. Okay, by this time you'll see that the difference has come down to minus 0.4. Okay, so that's one of the things that you will learn as you go into higher quads, that the game goes a little longer without any big change. Compare this with the first game that we saw, where, you know, by the time it was 5th, 6th move, the score had completely tilted towards 1 and it kind of stayed there. It's shown in the analysis also, you know, like the score is gone in white's favor and it's been there for the rest of the game. But the higher quads, this is not the case. So now you can go and analyze and look at this. This is the first part of it. So let's go back to our main screen and go to the first part. Okay. Now our plan for today's masterclass was 1. We look at the tools and techniques, which I've told you now. You know, you need the ZugZwang coaching or the ZugZwang account for playing the tournament. For analysis, the computer analysis, you need the Leeches account. Okay. I know there are different accounts. You have ChessKit, chess.com, Leeches, that and this and everything. It's like this, right? The more professional you want to get about your game, the more number of tools that you need to start using. Because each and every tool has a specific purpose for it. Okay. And we did a sample analysis of 1 or 2 games also. Now, let me just iterate why this is important for you to do and what are some of the techniques that you can use in order to help you do better. Okay. Now, the first thing you should learn is how learning works itself. What is the maximum impact when it comes to learning? Now, whenever you do something like play a chess tournament or cook an omelette or, you know, write a book or start dancing Bharatanatyam, whatever is the skill involved, there are always 2 zones for it. Okay, you have a performance zone and you have a learning zone. Okay, now when you are in the performance zone, it's all about proving where you are, right? Like you don't do so much of feedback and analysis. You just perform, you do your best with what you have. Okay, but in the learning zone, you're constantly thinking about moving up. How does my rating go up? How should my game get better? What should I do to improve my blunder rate? What should I do to beat higher level opponents? All of this is important deliberation here. Performance is about what can I do to win this tournament, right? I might have a lot of things to learn, but when I come to the tournament, I want to win no matter what. Okay. Now, typically, when you're involved in an activity, especially as a student, and you want to do well in it, you want to keep the balance at about 10% to 90%. 90% of your time should be spent in the learning zone, and 10% should be spent in the performance zone. That's the reason we don't have a tournament every day. We would love to. We can do a tournament every day, right? But we just do one tournament or two tournaments in a month because we want the performance part of it to be 10%. You should not be overdoing that. You will not learn. You will just be performing. Okay, and many adults who are learning find learning very hard because they spend 90% in performance and 10% in learning. Okay, I've met many club chess players who've been playing chess for like umpteen number of years, and they ask like, hey, my rating never goes up. I'm at 1400 and I'm there for the last 5 years. I've been 1400, but I've played 5,000 games. Why is that? Because 5,000 games are played in the performance zone, not in the learning zone. But my students, on the other hand, who were 700 or 600 last year are 1,800 right now. People who are 200 or 300 4 years back is 2,200 right now. How did that happen? Because we focused on these 4 factors. We worked on the learning zone. So how does this learning zone even work? So these are the 4 factors. I mean, this is at the end of huge amount of research and all of it to come to this core 4 important factors. Okay, I mean, there are many things, but if you take care of these 4 factors, your rating or your whatever is that number quantifying your level, right, it will go up. First thing is, whatever you do in life, you need to pay attention and focus. If this is missing, then your CPU itself is missing. Okay, like in a computer, the most important thing, I mean, yeah, it might look very beautiful on the outside, like an Apple Mac and all of that, right? But inside there's a chip running it. That matters much more than the outer appearance. That's your attention and focus, which means you have to learn how to practice to be attentive and stay focused. Okay, I'll do a separate masterclass on how to focus and how to build your attention, but that's a different topic. But you just remember today that if you want to get good at tournaments, you definitely want to pay attention and focus even during the tournament and even during the analysis. If you are a naam ke vaste player, your rating also will be naam ke vaste only. Remember that. Okay. Next, you should be somebody who has a high level of engagement and alignment. What does it mean? If somebody asks you, how do you like chess? And if your answer is not, I love chess, then you're not 100% aligned. If you say, yeah, okay, so, I'm attending class, chalta hai, nice, then it's not aligned. It's not aligned with your interest, because right now video game is aligned with your interest, right? If I ask you how many times you want to play Subway Surfer, no problem, right? PUBG, no problem. Every day I'll play. Clash of Clans, every hour I'll play. But some of them are Chinese now, so please don't play those things. Okay? All right. So the point is, you want to align with what you want. Where are you spending your time without any effort? That's alignment. You should not realize that you're doing it. That's alignment. Okay, what's engagement? It's like, how active are you? Are you jumping up and down? I have a nephew who plays, I think, one of those video games. And when he starts playing, he becomes a different person. He's shouting and jumping and talking and cursing and doing everything, right? Like, oh my God, what's happening? This. Otherwise, he's a very silent kid. He doesn't talk. When I go and try to talk to him, he's very shy. He doesn't even know how to talk to me. But when he plays video game, he becomes a different person, right? He's fully engaged. Heart, soul, mind, everything is inside that. That's what engagement is. Engagement is how much of your attention, how much of your power you're able to bring into doing that activity. So if you were playing the tournament and I saw a couple of kids who were like in tears because they lost some game, that's engagement. You know, I know it feels bad to cry because you lost a game and all that, but it also tells me that you're fully engaged in it, because you won't cry about things you're not engaged about, right? You will cry and you will feel emotional only about the things you're totally engaged about. And I've not met a chess player who's really good at chess who hasn't cried. Okay? And it's happened. I mean, it's part of life. I remember the day that, you know, I was unconsolable. I was playing this guy called R.R. Lakshman. He's a grandmaster now. And I drew the game I was supposed to win. I didn't even lose. I mean, I was crying for the game that I didn't win. Forget about losing. Okay, it took me like 2-3 hours to come back. I still remember that day. But that basically tells me that I was engaged, I was invested, I was aligned. It was part of my life. That's extremely important if you want to learn. Okay. The third one is something that we have been doing amazingly well at ZugZwang. It's called deliberate practice. What does that mean? It basically says if you're doing something, do it deliberately and do it with a plan. Okay? Don't do it like some 35 meal buffet where little bit of this, little bit of that, little bit of that one, little bit of this one, thoda achar, thoda sabji, right? Don't spread it out. Don't spread it thin, which means don't play one day, then do 3 puzzles the next day, and then do something else the other day. You got to pick one and you got to do it so much, so many times for so long that you are able to do it really, really, really well. And you know what we have chosen in ZugZwang? We have chosen the chess kit puzzles. That's why each and every one of you would get a chess kit account where you're focusing so much on the puzzle rating and that your improvement happens, right? If we had spread it out saying, okay, let's play tournament, let's play a game on chess kit, let's play a game on lead chess, let's do this, this is what would have happened. Okay, now this is for beginners where you're starting off with 400 and you're trying to reach 1,500. But the moment you reach 1,000 plus, you're in the 1,000 to 1,500 zone, you can start playing tournaments. Okay, and then that becomes your deliberate practice, which means in the first quad that you played, you came 4th. What happens in the next month? What happens in the month after? What happens in the month after? Unless you have that data over a period of time, you cannot really see that difference happening. Okay, so make it deliberate. So when you're playing the tournament, make it deliberate. Make it deliberate to see where is your performance? How is your performance? What is the rating? Who are the kids you're able to play with, to beat them? Who are the ones you're losing to? Why did you lose? All of that is your deliberate practice. Of course, you want to work on chess kit. That is one thing, one dimension of it. Working on the tournament is a different dimension, but you got to make it deliberate. So if you play a tournament in July, then forget about it and then come back in December. Then forget about it and then start again next August. That's not deliberate practice. Deliberate practice is to go through this grind every month, like kind of get into that frequency where you're playing it again and again to ensure that you're able to do it. Now, if you see what I'm telling you, right, there is a theme to it. We don't want to do it every day because performance should only be 10%. At the same time, we don't want to do it once in 12 months. Life is about the balance. You want to find the sweet spot somewhere in between. Okay, so pick your tournaments and give it your best. Now, the final part is what we have covered here, which is you need to do feedback and analysis. And a quick few things to kind of leave it here. One, you should do immediate feedback. Okay, as much as you can, as soon as you can. Go through your game to check right away what happened. Second, make notes during the game. What do I mean by this? Make your notes of how you felt during the game. For example, were you in control? Were you feeling tensed? What was the emotions that were running in you? Right? Were you feeling confident? Did you lose confidence? What are the things that really made a difference? Okay. And then especially make notes about the blunders. When you realize that you made a blunder, note down why you did that. That's extremely, extremely important. And then finally, all of this is to think of, I told you, right? Think of two things. One is, the analysis of why you did that, right? What is the reason? Like, what is the blunder? That is one thing. The computer analysis will tell you. The why is more important, which only you can answer. Okay. After that, the reason for that is two things. Why would we want to analyze this? One is we want to understand how to prevent blunders in the future. Okay. Second one is how do we prepare for all this? Preparation is 3/4 of the battle won. No preparation, no winning. So I want to leave you with those thoughts. When you play a tournament, try to analyze the game, especially spend time with the blunders, because you want to definitely try and understand how to prevent blunders and how to prepare for the game, which means, can you learn about better openings? Can you learn about what kind of mistakes you're making? And this is where you would need the help of a coach, or you can take the help of a coach. So I'm not sure whether we did it for all of them this week, but all the coaches will be analyzing these tournament games whenever we get a chance. I mean, we'll be analyzing Grandmaster games also, but we'll definitely be picking up tournament games also to see how kids are performing, what's happening, what are the ways in which we can prevent these blunders, what are the ways in which we can prepare for a tournament. This is key. That's why we want the analysis to happen. And the more insightful you are, the more you recognize yourself, the more you look into your game, you will understand things a little better. Okay, with that, I'll conclude it and open it up for Q&A. So anybody who has
questions answer karka.
Please raise your hand if you have any question. Yes, if you don't have any questions, you can leave. If you have any questions you want to ask me, you can. I'll be there for another 5 minutes. Okay, Abhay is asking a question saying, what does the plus 0.5 mean in a analysis? So the 0.5 basically means that white has an advantage, but is it winning? Not really. In order to win, you need to have at least 1 plus. Even that might not be enough, but at least 1 plus. Okay, Burhanuddin, can you unmute?
I'm new to this class, and
Yes.
how much time I can spend on a tournament?
Okay, for anybody who's new, who is still beginning, who's just starting off, remember that the first step is for your chess kid rating to cross 1,000. Okay, and work with your coaches to first ask them, are you ready to play tournaments? Okay, it's not important to just go and play at any cost. You have to play after a certain amount of preparation. Otherwise, it might be very, very demotivating at times. So in general, first work on your pattern recognition, learn how to start the games, internalize the basic moves of the game before you can start getting into the details of it. Okay. Okay, Kshitij and Daivik, about the tool. So Lichess uses a chess engine called Stockfish, and that engine does the analysis of what is the right move and wrong move. Okay, I hope that helped answer. Okay, so Abhay has another question. So can you suggest any website where you can find games? Chess Games is a repository of all the Grandmaster games that happens. So you can definitely go and search for that. Ritisha, where are you? Yes. Okay, Ritisha, go ahead. You can ask me the question.
Yeah, hi. This is our father.
Yeah.
Actually, the question was about analyzing on the leeches. You showed that it points out the blunder. And is it possible to then go down playing the correct the suggested move and go down with that game, or
Yes, you can absolutely do it. So it's called a line, and if you just follow what it suggests, right, then you can go and you can see the numbers change.
no? But will Stockfish play against that then, and how does
So it won't play. It will just say what is the best move for both black and white.
Yeah, I get that. Let's say if she made a move and it says that this is a move we should make. Is there a way to follow that path and see what happens?
To play it out? Yes, you can do that. So let me quickly show you that. Okay, now you're able to see the screen? All right, so now it says that, D5 would have been better and you want to play this particular game. So what you need to do is click on this and click on continue from here and play with the computer. Okay, so if you do that, then you can basically make this into a game where from this position, black has played D5 and you want to play. So you can choose AI level, whatever you want. 5, 6, 7 is usually good enough. Like it will still help you play at that same level. And then you can start off. And this is like a game that you're taking it through this line. So this is like multiple simulations that you can run for your game that will help you get better at it. Does that answer your question? Nivan?
So is it possible to copy a link and send it through an email?
Yes, you can, of course. But the idea is for you to learn this so that you can do it yourself. Okay, it might take some time, but get a hang of it. See, this video is going to be on YouTube.
In that share button, can we put it in an email and send it? Like that or something?
Button. So let's go back to the study, and if you click on share, so you can copy this URL and then send it by email.
Got the chance.
Yeah, Shri Krishna?
So are there any better softwares for like copying PGN
Yeah, there's something called
and
Chessbase.
analyzing other than leeches?
Chessbase does it. Chessbase is a software that you need to download. It's a paid software for Windows systems alone. That's the other alternative. But otherwise, most websites will help you, like chess.com, chess24. But they all use the same engine. Like more or less, you're going to be getting the same engine. So it really doesn't make much of a difference.
Okay, sir.
Just want to open it up for some comments from the other coaches. Let's start with Vinay. Vinay, can you unmute? Okay, so Vinay, I just want to quickly ask, you saw the tournament. What is the, say, like top 1 or 2 top feedback that we need to give the students depending on how they played in the tournament? What they can do before next Sunday's tournament to prepare?
Sir, one thing is clear. They need some patience. When they're playing tournament, they need some patience, and they have to use their time efficiently. They have to use their time wisely.
Where can they go buy patience? Can they buy patience somewhere? No.
No.
So what should they do?
They have to use their time wisely when they are playing tournaments.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing which can make a huge difference, because
yes,
I think there was one game which got over in 23 seconds.
Yes, if they had little time on the clock, it was okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
If they make blunders, but when they have more time on the clock, they have to use it wisely.
Yeah, I think that's something I hope everybody who's playing the tournament next Sunday, first of all, if you have not yet registered, please go ahead and register. Next Sunday, 4 o'clock, we're going to have the tournament here. And it's going to be a Swiss system. It's not quad, it's going to be Swiss system. So while you enroll and you're ready to play, you should also remember what Vinay sir is saying. get some patience. And unfortunately, you can't buy it or order it on Flipkart or Amazon. If that was the case, I'm sure most of you would have done it, but you cannot do it. What should you do? You got to do a bit of self-reflection. You should look at all the games that you lost and kind of find a good mirror, stand in front of it and ask, why did I do this? Okay. And then answers will start coming. And one of the answers is going to be, please be patient. Please wait. Learn to control your impulses. That's a life skill to have, to hold your impulses. Okay. Vinayak, anything to add specifically in terms of preparation for next tournament?
Definitely, sir. The preparation for the next tournament is like kids should approach to the time control what they have. So 10 minutes game, we are playing fast chess games. The fast chess means we should play fast. Nothing like that. So 10 minutes, adding 3 seconds increment to them actually makes a big difference. Like you said, like 40 moves equal to 120 minutes. So that itself will take 120 into 240 seconds. In fact, 4 minutes extension, 4 to 5 minutes extension is going to happen. So we spoke out about the Udayana's game where it went to 100 odd moves. So close to 300, 600 seconds, 10 minutes extra. That means overall it went to a 15 minutes game. So time will matter, but not in so openings and all they can pick quickly. But particularly when they enter the phase of middle game, they have to think, they have to develop a plan based on what the opponent is trying to do. Like a couple of attacks and traps, gambits, which I've been teaching to the kids in the classes. So I've asked them to write also during the classes. So most of them are interested in writing it down. And some of them are taking screenshot, neglecting it. I don't know why. They have to avoid this. They have to write it down in the book. They can self-analyze all these things. No, they can play online games. They can apply all these skills, like whatever suggestions are given by the coaches. They can play on the fastest game. They can see and they itself will get the feedback from their self only, like, oh, we should have done this mistake, so what sir was saying is correct. Or some of them simply take a screenshot and they won't follow it when they play the game. So that has to be avoided. So kids are like, they're particularly couple of them are really focused enough and like they are taking it very seriously and like applying all sort of openings. So they're trying it out, they're testing it out, playing fastest games on Chesskit. That's the right way. So I want everybody to follow the same way. Try to play fastest games, and like even if you lose also it's okay. You can self-analyze and then you'll get the correct moves going forward. Like you'll be getting used to a couple of openings, traps and gambits if you're familiar enough with it. That's the only suggestion. And fastest games means not playing fast. So 10 minutes is a lot of time, including like opponent also will have a 10 minutes. So like you said, 23 seconds the game is being finished. That is not the right way to play according to me.
Yeah, true. I mean, that is something that can be totally avoided. And I think just to add to the point, it's also equally important to learn how to pace the game. Like you can play the opening fast, especially if you're well prepared, but then slow it down in the middle game. So you see, the real skill is the control of how you are able to handle your time. It's the versatility that comes with it. So these are all the skills that you're going to learn as you play more tournaments and do the deliberate practice around. Okay, I think we just have a few more minutes. Babu, any last bit insights on how things are and what you can tell them about the tournament?
Yes, sir. One of my students have just pinged me, Ritisha. I'll help her with the leeches analysis part of that. As you've rightly pointed out, it's a very good way to analyze our games after the tournament and figure out where we stand today. And for the other students, I would strongly recommend that they play more puzzles. So that their tactical abilities go up, and also do some end game workouts, so that when they actually play the game, it becomes easy for them. And something like, say, Traxler account, counter attack and all, they can probably see it very often. So once they see that they are falling into one particular line or trap, very often they can go and study that particular thing with the help of coach and probably overcome their problems. And as Vinayak sir has rightly pointed out, they play too fast. It's important that they need to slow down and use the time well.
I mean, I think based on all the feedback that I'm getting and what, the insights from the coach as well, is that first, the 3 things you can work on. The first one, of course, is you can learn how to manage your time. You can slow down, just slow down, because you're going fast. Even if you lose on time, it's okay, just slow down. So that's one takeaway for all of you before the next tournament that you play. Second, that itself will solve. But let's say you've taken care of that. The next step is, even if you learn how to slow down, you should still know how to spot the tactics, know how to play a tactical game of chess. So that's extremely important, which means work on your puzzles. The higher your puzzle rating. So all of the ratings and the quads are decided based on your puzzle rating. So try and maximize that, because even in a tie-break score, it's a puzzle rating that matters. Okay. And the third one is make it deliberate. Whether it's tournaments that you're playing or puzzles you're kind of doing, make it deliberate. Have a plan, stay organized, and work towards it constantly. As I told you, those are the most important thing. And use that feedback. Now there's a way to get the feedback. Get that feedback, seek that feedback, and find it out, and that will make a big difference. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed the first masterclass. And Udena, do you have a question? We have just a minute before we.
Yes, sir. Are there any good chess books you recommend?
Chess?
For end games, middle games, and beginnings?
Chess books, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I will send you the details about it. In fact, that could be another topic for a masterclass itself, where we can discuss some of the famous chess books. Believe me, there is no dearth of chess books. I think there are more chess books written than any other subject. I mean, more books written on chess than any other subject in the world. Okay, so that's how many books are there. But I'll try and filter out some of the best books that you can actually pick up and learn. The problem is not the availability of the book. The problem is actually to read and follow through, which is the harder part for most of us in the current age and time. All right, guys, thank you so much. I hope you found this insightful. You learned something and you're ready for, raring to go to the next tournament. So I will see you in the next tournament. Okay. Bye-bye. See you.
Bye, kids, all of you. Bye.